Another improvement we're doing is the distributors. We're getting rid of mechanical advances as well as vacuum advance. We're going with a new computer style distributor, which you work off of a Bluetooth connection to your phone and an app on your phone. I have one of these distributors in my car, the Goldie, my 1973 Khalees. I always had an issue when I had the air conditioning on or I was pulling a heavy load with the car wanting to ping. In other words, detonation, pre-detonation of the fuel before the cylinder, the piston hits top dead center in the cylinder and the firing of the fuel starts, or the combustion of fuel starts. With a mechanical and a vacuum advance setup, you're limited. You're always compromising how much curve you can put into your timing. When you change the weight of the car, you add people to it, you're pulling a load, you're doing something different, you're flooring it, your timing now can be out of sync with the position of the piston in the cylinder and the position of the piston in the cylinder when the spark fires means it's either going to fire right on time or it's going to fire a little bit too early for the amount of load you have. And if that happens, you're causing detonation, or as we call it, rattling the pistons. And that is detrimental to your motor. That will cause a hole to form in the piston. It will crack your piston. So you don't want that. So what we now have is we have these new distributors where it used to take me 2 days to set up a distributor correctly. In other words, you have a number of different advance weights. You have a number of different advance weight springs. You also have adjustable vacuum canisters. And I'll show you that here. Let's see. That is your vacuum canister, and that's an adjustable vacuum canister. So you can change when the vacuum starts pulling to advance or decrease your spark. And in the distributor, if you hang on, I'll take the top of that distributor off and show you. Be right back. Hang on. Okay, so we're back. Now, this is an HEI distributor, high energy ignition distributor. That's what the HEI stands for. And it comes with the coil set inside the cap. So whenever you see these big caps, you'll know it's an HEI distributor. That is your coil, and then your wiring harness plugs into it from here. So if we take the cap off, you can see that's your rotor. That spins as the engine turns. The cam turns this gear, the camshaft turns this gear. This gear not only turns the rotor to tell what spark plug to fire, it also, at the bottom, you'll see it has a little slot where your oil pump drive slots into. And that also turns your oil pump, which gives you oil pressure inside your motor. Another things these have is if you get, I'm going to have to stop it for a second again and pull off the rotor. Hold on, be right back. Okay, so now with the rotor off, you can see those are your timing weights. As the shaft spins, these weights will open up and advance or decrease your timing. You have different weights, different sizes, or different weights. And you also have heavy and light springs. So there's a whole crap load of combinations that you can use to change your timing curve. If they open up too soon and advance too quickly, well, you're going to get ping. If they don't open up quick enough, then you're going to get a car with a lack of power. So you have to get these right, and it's never easy. You got to take everything off. You got to take the cap off, take the rotor off, take the springs off, take the weights out, put a new set of weights in, put the same springs again. So you only want to make one change at a time. You don't want to make too many changes at one time, because then you'll never know what made the change and why did it change to the way it is, whether it's right or wrong. So you make one change at a time. You put either a heavier or a lighter weight in here, put it all back together, get back out on the roads, let the car warm up, and try it again. If it's not working the way you want it, you go back, you take everything back off, you change your weights again, or you change your springs, put everything back together, then go back out and try it again. So this is a very long process of trying to get the weights, the springs, and the vacuum advance to all work together at the rates you want it to keep the car running with the most amount of power, the least amount of ping, or the least amount of detonation within the cylinders. So these take a very long time to set up. With this new distributor, I can do this right from my phone while I am driving now. So what used to take 2 to 3 days to set up on this distributor, I can do it in anywhere from 2 to 4 hours and get you different tunes. So if you want to run an 87 octane fuel, I can turn all your timing curves down. If you want to run a racing octane, I can turn all your timing curves up, giving you more power. So there's a lot of things you can do with this, and you can do it right on the fly. And you can label each one of your curves. So racing fuel curve, you put that curve on, you push the button, it turns that timing curve on, and the old timing curve you had in there off. Or you can go to the 87 octane, push that button, and it'll give you the curve for 87 octane. Or if you're pulling a load, you can put in trailer curve. And if you're pulling a load, you can go to that timing curve, which will, again, bring your timing curves down to where the car isn't pinging at certain RPMs. So it's a really, really nice setup. I'm really happy with it. It works absolutely fantastic on my 73 Cadillac Goldie. We just pulled this 1972 Chevelle in on her with the new distributor, and what a huge difference. I was able to climb hills with no problem. Everything worked very well. I actually gained a bunch of power because now I can change my timing curve. Where I used to be able to do a burnout for about 3, maybe 4 feet, I can do a burnout for about 30 feet now, just due to being able to change my timing curve and get the piston rattling knock out. Because once you hit that pre-detonation, you are losing a crap load of power. So that really has turned into a great find. The company, I am now a dealer for them. So if you ever need one, all you have to do is call me up. I will get you what you need. I will set you all up, and I will teach you how to use it. You really can't hurt your motor unless you're running and you hear that ping. You can get away with a little tiny bit of ping, but if you start getting really big on ping or a lot of ping, you can blow up your motor. It really is detrimental to the motor. So this is a lifesaver for most guys, especially with today's fuels. They put a lot of alcohol in it now, which alcohol, you need 2 to 3 times as much alcohol to get the same BTUs as what you do in fuel. So if you have 1 gallon of fuel, you need at least 2 gallons of alcohol to get that same amount of power out of it. They are also putting a lot of oxygen into the fuel, which again is cutting down the BTUs of the fuel. So you're getting a lot of things these days that are really hurting these older style motors. So we have to do things now to keep up with today's stuff. And this is one of them. This really has helped a lot. I can't tell you how great. If you think fuel injection is great, then this for you will be even better. This is just a great setup for a carburetor, a throttle body fuel injected motor. If you can't control your distributor through some kind of an app or some kind of programming, this will really make you say, wow, that is cool. It's like the difference between electronic ignition and points. Points, you can only run a 25,000, maybe 30,000 volt coil. Electronic ignition, you can run, well, these now are pushing 60,000 volts with 8 amps behind them, whereas the HEI system was pushing about 45 to 50,000 volts with about 7 amps behind it. So you're getting a better spark, you're getting a better timing curve, and it's going to give you a much more all-around better drive. better power, better idle. If you have an air conditioning system in your car, if you're pulling with a truck, it doesn't matter what it is. These distributors work so nicely. They make them in the HEI style cap, or they make them in the regular small cap with the separate coil. And I got them for Cadillac. Once the gentleman who owns the business called me up and told me that they're making Cadillac ones, I bought one immediately for my car because I always use my cars to test new products out on. So this way, if there is a problem with it, it's not you who gets stuck, it's me who gets stuck. So there you go, guys. That's what's going on with this 1966 Chevelle. We're getting there with her. Hopefully in the next few days, maybe a week, we should have her running and driving. I'm really looking forward to it. Alrighty, have fun. I'll talk to you real soon. Okay, bye.